The RMX Ignite. If you think it replaces the RMX 1000, you might be in for a surprise like I was. My name is Nick Stiles, and we're going to do a deep dive in the new RMX Ignite. Also included will be some features on the old classic RMX 1000. In this video, we're going to go over some of the key features of both the RMX Ignite and the RMX 1000, how they're similar and how they're different, and who the Ignite will truly be for. If you're anything like me, you saw the RMX Ignite advertised as kind of a successor to the flagship RMX 1000 FX processor that pretty much reigned supreme for over a decade in the biggest stages all over the world. So, is the Ignite going to take said place, or is it? Most of us will look at the similarities, such as both have sample rolls, 3-band pots for various effects with signal routing options, and say, sure, the Ignite is poised to replace the RMX 1000 because it's the newer rendition. But that's just the surface. Let's take a closer look. One of my favorite podcasters, vloggers, Phil Harris, has already touched on this. It inspired me to take this deeper dive. In his video, he talks about the features he is going to miss that he uses on the RMX 1000 that aren't on the Ignite. I will put the link in the bio for this video. So if we take a look at the first thing is the Isolator. So here's the Isolator. Turn on the Isolator, kill your frequencies, right? So no, the Ignite does not have that. But what it does have is something that's very similar, which is a filter you can do on 3 bands. And though it does sound different and they are not the same, I'm okay with this because not only do you have the filter on this, which is its own niche thing, having a 3-band filter, but most Pioneer DJM mixers, which is what most people will be using with these on the big stages, they all have Isolator EQs now. So older Pioneer equipment didn't have that. So now that that's a thing, the 3-band Isolator to me isn't as big of a deal. Moving forward, let's address the release effects. Yes, Phil's correct in that 1000 featured 3 different release effects with touch-sensitive layer, allowing for various amounts of the effects to be applied. Whereas the Ignite only has one, it has the echo out, which is right here. The difference is you control the amount with this potentiometer on the Ignite, and here it's how hard you press this lever. But yes, there's no break effects on this, and there's also no backspin effects on the unit. So for me and many that will use the Ignite, they will likely be using a DJM V10 that has an onboard break effect on it. So you're not really going to be losing that. But if you want to do backspins, looks like you're going to have to do them the old-fashioned way. One of the things that makes the Ignite on another level is the ability to select on the hardware if you want the release effects to be dry or mute. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So you got your release effect here, and let's do a nice quick echo out, right? So you can also select it if you don't want it. Like let's say you have other effects going on. Let's say we put some reverb on it, and you notice it kills everything. However, maybe you don't want it to kill everything. You want to have it on there. You put it on dry, and it will just clears your effects and the signal remains. On the previous RMX 1000, you had this ability as well. However, it was much harder to get to by default. So let's just say we add some bandpass echo here. It kills everything, right? Now, if I put it on user, because I've set this up to the software to do the same thing that this button does on here, which is No, I haven't. And which actually brings me to a point that I have about this, which is you have to go in and set this up on the memory card. I forgot my previous RMX 1000 was stolen when my memory card was set up with user settings. This one, I never went back in and set up the additional user settings because it was kind of a pain, to be honest with you. And that's one of the things that's a big advantage to this, having this on here to be able to quickly switch back and forth with however that you want your release effects to be applied. So while reviewing the unit, I started with the aforementioned things that Phil had addressed, and for the most part, I found reasonable solutions for most of the gripes. But I soon found there were some things that really shocked me about this Ignite that I didn't see or know before I purchased it. The first thing that I noticed is you cannot roll the input on the Ignite. And if you're not sure what that is, let me show you. So you have your track plan, and here on the RMX 1000, if you have this roll set, okay, you can't do that on the Ignite. There's no roll. So if you want to roll, you're going to have to be left to the mixer, your DJ and mixer, or your CDJ. That's might not be a deal breaker for some, but it might be for some, because I can tell you what, I use the roll probably more than anything on the RMX 1000. However, I know how to use on the mixer as well. I just really liked how it worked on this RMX 1000. The second big thing that I came to, well, before I go to get to the second big thing, the other thing that was peculiar about the Ignite was they also didn't include roll in any of these effects. So whereas on the RMX 1000, you have a roll here as well, where you could roll individual frequencies and then cut them as well, which is, or transform, which is great. I can't believe they didn't put this on there. That to me is very shocking, surprising, and I wish that it wasn't like that, because I would prefer it to be on there if I only wanted to carry one of these devices if I'm taking them someplace. The second big thing that I came to notice coming from the 1000 is that there's no longer a noise scene effect. So if you're not sure what I'm talking about, it's this thing. There's no way to do that at all on the Ignite. So if you want to do a James Hype-esque noise buildup and you're on a V10 that doesn't have noise on the mixer like the A9 does, there's really nothing that you can do for it, unless you can just do what I'm doing, which is piggyback one onto the next. So I'm really shocked that they didn't add that, because that, from what I've seen, is one of the biggest things that DJs use on the RMX 1000. So the fact that it's missing on this is very surprising. All right. So up until this point, I've been relatively negative about a lot of this stuff on the Ignite. So let's talk about some positives. First off, the sound of this thing is as good as it gets, and the fact that it has multiple USBs on it and it's a fully functional MIDI device is awesome. I really hope that they find a way to integrate this with Rekordbox so people can use it with a controller or other software, perhaps a VST option like the 1000 has. Failure to implement a way for controller DJs to utilize this would really be a big miss to me, even though you can do some creative signal routing if you're a controller DJ by using your headphones. If you have you need a 4-channel mixer basically, and then route it to your 3 and 4 channels using your headphone outputs. Steve from the DJ Lab has a video on this, and I will put it in the link as well. All right, for more positives, this thing has improved sync abilities. It now has ProLink, and so it's just much tighter with how it syncs with your music when you're rolling some hi-hats or something like that. The third positive thing would be the entire sampler overhaul. How it works, you have a screen, you can go here, you can create favorite banks, you can load banks off of your USB that you're using to DJ off of. And then what I really, really like, probably the best feature, so like if I put on hold here, let's just do a 1-beat hat there, are these color effects. So I'm not going to go totally into them. We'll go into them a little bit later, but you can really curtail the sound. That's got to be one of, if not the best features on this device. So the number 4 positive thing goes right along with the sampler, and it's the groove roll. You can now use varying beat lengths in conjunction with one another to create your own rhythms that can vary, and you can even use triplets. You can use this with a nudge to make the ride, snare, or hi-hat patterns precisely how you want them. Let me show you a little bit what I'm meaning. So normally you could go, okay, so I'm going into just a 1-beat pattern, so you want to build up. That's how it worked traditionally. However, you can get more creative with it now. So you can go, and when you hold a second one, it will alternate, a third one. Hear the alternation. So say you want to do triplets. Yeah, that wasn't technically you could do triplets on the 1000 if you set it up in the software for a user setting, but you definitely couldn't dynamically go back and forth between the two, and especially if you didn't have it already set up. It's really going to be one of the most sought after features because DJs are really going to be able to put their own signature sound on top of the beat. So on to number 5, it's something I brought up earlier, but the release echo is one of the big positives on this thing to me. Even though you have only one release effect, Alpha Theta really nailed it on this one, in my opinion. This is the best echo that I've ever used. And if you only gave me one effect to use for the rest of my life, it would be this, hands down. It's just the perfect amount to me. All right. But moving on, positive point number 6 would be the fact that this thing has a USB power supply. So this one's a second-hand one, so I got the power supply with it, and it's not even the OEM power supply because you have to find special power supply. Fact of the matter is, stuff gets lost, stolen, or whatnot, and if you can go find, it's common that you can find a USB-C charger power supply just about anywhere. But find this proprietary one for this, good luck, especially in a pinch. Positive number 7 that I touched on a little bit earlier is the software for this is so much better that you work with to load your samples and everything. And another reason that goes along with that software is on this to load samples, and you could load samples on here, you had to use a very specific file type. This one opens up a lot more file types. I believe it even though the documentation doesn't say it, I think you can even load MP3s in it, which is much better because if I had some samples before that were MP3s, then I'd have to convert them to the 44.1 waves to put them on this. Like I said, it's very cumbersome. Nothing that you want to have to be doing regularly if you want to set and change out your samples. Whereas on this, you can change them out pretty freely. All right, this is the part of the video I want to go over and show you all what all these effects sound like on these devices. So even though it's been done in the past, and while I'm taking the time to film this video, I'm going to go ahead and show you stuff on the 1000, and then I'm going to go move and transition over to the new Ignite. Let's give some signal. Start off with, you got the isolators. You can just cut, kill. Next thing you have cut, add. A little more bass. It's very similar to a roll. I like it. I've always been a fan. Use that quite a bit. This one I use a lot as well. The rolls, and even more, I love the transform or gate effect. And you have another variation of a gate over here. Well, drive this way. And it's supposed to be gate that way, yeah. All right. All right, so moving down to the lower part. As I went over earlier, you have the rolls. If you want to hold it for a loop, you can hold it. You can also do the kicks, snare. And I just came back from Groove Cruise and I saw Leighton Giordani. He's one of the only people that I've seen actually use this and use a build-up kind of like I do, which a neat thing that you can do on it if you're not familiar with this. So let's say you got your snare, and then pitch it. You can affect the pitch on it, which is really nice. Furthermore, you can also record on it, overdub. Pretty simple. Just clear that out. All right. You got this bandpass. Then over here you have your scene effects. And you'll notice it's kind of divided into two, build-ups and breakdowns. This is what I think they really focus a lot on this thing was a build-up breakdown. Whereas I think the Ignite is more for like riding the beat out. But let's keep it moving. Your standard echo. Ever-loving noise, spiral up. Reverb up is one that I use frequently. All right, then moving on to the breakdown effects. High pass filter echo. This changes your beat, the time that's doing it at, obviously. This is a filter. All right, then you got a low pass filter echo. Crushing echo. Spiral down is one that I never really would use, but I would use the reverb down. And then, of course, the final break, echo, and backspin, which I would use from time to time. All right, so that's, you just heard everything from the RMX 1000. Well, let's move over to the new Ignite. The sampler, other than the roll, this thing, that is not on here, the sampler works pretty much the same, except for here you have more beat divisions. Here you only have 5 different options. And here you have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 options of time divisions. The hold and overdub functions work the same. If you want to delete a sample, or I'm sorry, mute a sample, you can hold it and you can mute it by like that. Also, something that's worth noting on this device is you can use Q-Link on this. So if you want to hear a sample and touch it and have it be hot, you can actually do that through the Q-Link by holding this, and you can cue it like this and be able to hear it, so you can get in time first. So let's do a little bit of this, because this sampler is different. So let's hold something here. A little out of time for my taste, so I'm gonna bring it back a little bit. And the bread and butter of this Ignite is right here, okay? So you got you can add echo, you can add space, filter, pitch, which is the only one that this one had previously, but I really like the filter. You got decay. Might be, I don't know. Between filter and decay are my favorite two things, because you can cut the sample like this and then let it breathe. It really lets you articulate the sound. And the last one is swing. And you'll notice here it shows where the grid's at. You can reset, which this one you could nudge the beat, but you couldn't reset it perfectly. So, all right, moving forward, let's go over to the lever effects here, and then we'll go to the isolator effects. So the lever effect system works. You can apply it to high, mids, or lows. So turn your echo on, which is going to affect the low, which most people would never do, because if you know anything about sound, that's horrible. It's going to sound muddy. But so you usually want to affect either top 1 or 2 frequencies. So you can do both. And then this will change your mix ratio. So you could effectively have these on, just pull in your echo, and then the echo will follow to whatever you have set up here up top. So let's make it to real tight robot. All right, moving forward, reverb. This is a super awesome way that you can do reverb, because you can apply it to individual frequencies. So let's turn our mix up. Juggle is a little weird to me, to be honest with you. I haven't played with it enough to know how well I'm really gonna like it when I'm in the mix on what it's doing to the beat. But let's take a look here. Me personally, I don't know. I mess with it a little bit, but I think I'd rather have the cut add over here or the trans roll personally. All right, moving forward, we got reverse. This is one I actually really do like, because you can do that. Decent. Probably won't use it a whole lot, but very sporadically. Solo. This is kind of like a roll, but not. It just solos whichever frequency you set. So let's say we want to solo just the mids and the highs and take out the low. And we'll just solo the low. So in a way, that's like an isolator to go against the isolator. You can just kill one, and depending on which ones you're hitting. All right, last one we have here is stretch. So let's engage everything. We have it turned all the way down. Slowly bring it up and kill it. Great way to end your set, in my opinion. But yeah, you can also do individual amounts. But with this one, I'd rather turn down the dry wet on it, engage the effects, and then bring it up. All right, almost done here. All right, let's go down to the isolate effects. First one is the tape echo. This is one that I really like on here. You got feedback here, speed up here, and this will change your beat divisions. Tape echo is really nice, and like I said, the fact you have 3 parameters that you can adjust in addition to here, so really 4. Now, actually 7, because you can do high, mid, and low, and then you have these 3 parameters. So it's uber flexible. Same thing with reverb. Not quite as many parameters, but it has the ones that you need. This is one I'm not sure, and when I left my review for Alpha Theta, on why they put this one on here, because I never use drive on here, and I don't know anybody that does, and I mean, if you want to make it sound distorted, it's kind of like a bit crush it to a degree, but I never use bit crush in any of my production, DJ performance, nothing. The next one is one that I really am excited about, which is a 3-band filter. I mean, are you kidding me? Could you get better? All right. This next one is a dark horse for one of my favorite features. It's a ducker, which it basically applies kind of like a sidechain compression to a degree, or just ducks the signal. So here you can change the curve of what it's going to duck, and then when you turn to the side. So this can really help you create room in a mix. If you're trying to blend some tracks together, or several tracks, and you can't have too much bass, you duck the bass on one, and you still get a lot of color of the rest of the track while it's ducked. And you can, depending on where you have the curve set, depends on where it's going to duck it. All right, rhythm. This one, I'm still on the fence about if I like it or not. I like it more than juggle, but it seems similar to juggle, but a little bit better. And then last but not least, my favorite effect of all is the echo. So, all in all, the Ignite is a monster of an effects processor. It seems to be better at being able to create grooves that fit in your mix, with track buildups being kind of an afterthought, whereas the 1000 was the opposite. It was more focused on buildups and less focus about accompaniment. But the question that we all had is, can it replace the 1000? Well, only time's going to tell that. What I can say is that when you pair the Ignite with the RMX 1000, their power is compounded. And let me just show you a small example of what I'm saying. So, as I mentioned earlier in the video, this thing has noise that, like this, that this does not. But let's say we take this noise here and then we add this ducker to it. Now we have like a gated noise. Maybe apply a flanger to it. So for me, considering I have them both already, I'm not really ever going to want to pick between the two. However, let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and if you'd like to do more deep dives into gear. My name's Nick Stiles, and thank you for watching.